Awesome. If you're just joining the call, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
And Elena from San Antonio.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Get back to your workout. We'll start the call here in just a minute. If you're just joining the call, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Don't be shy. This is the TeamViHOPE call. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. We're going to start this call in about 30 seconds. Send out your last-minute text, messages, Facebook posts. Get everyone on this call. This is going to be a power-packed call, and I'm so excited. If you're just logging on, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Marcia Kinney. I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anybody else just logging on? Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Tanya Chubb from Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Woo, Tanya.
I heard a bunch of dings coming through, so I know people are still logging on. We'll give it about 30 more seconds, and we'll get this call started. Okay, we're going to get this call started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Power Pack call. It is going to be filled with an extremely large amount of hope for y'all. My name is Theresa Thomas out of San Antonio, Texas. I joined the challenge 3 years ago, and I've lost 140 pounds, over 60 inches overall. I've been able to run a full marathon. I won the Southwest Regional Weight Loss Champion title. And now I am training. I have switched gears, and I'm training for my first WBFF show. And if y'all don't know what that means, all I know is I have to get in a bikini on a stage. So I am switching gears, but I am happier, I am healthier, and I couldn't be prouder of the person I've become since Vi has become a part of my lifestyle. So I'm going to start this call off with a few reminders. This call is every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Central. We also have regional success trainings in all of your local markets, pretty close by, where you're welcome to join and hear success stories that will absolutely blow your mind. The past weekend, we were in Charlotte, North Carolina. This weekend coming up, we have Omaha, Nebraska. And soon in August, we have Philadelphia, Chicago, Jacksonville, and Houston. If you visit rst.vi.com, you'll be able to find more information about these events. Also, this summer, Vi has challenge groups set up so you can join us for free workouts and earn credit toward your monthly kit or product. You can ask whoever got you hooked up on this phone call. I'm sure they have challenge groups running because they are all over. So I want to start this call off. I want to bring a special lady on the line. Faith, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. I want to welcome you to the TeamViHOPE call, and thank you for taking time. But I just want to have you share a little bit about what you've been working on and what you just tried to attempt this past weekend and what you have going on coming up soon here.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think a lot of people know probably the origins of my story in the fact that I was once over 350 pounds, and I was put in bed by my doctors because the joints of my knees were in such bad shape. They told me if I wanted to walk long term, I was going to have to get in bed for a few months. in order to try to fix some of that damage. And so flash forward 4 years of being on the challenge and constantly trying to push myself outside of the box. This past weekend, I made my first attempt for a world record. I attempted to pull a 21,000-pound, 100-foot wingspan aircraft for 100 feet. I did not reach 100 feet, unfortunately. I did manage about 70 feet. And so this next week, my motto and my tagline has always been for myself. My dad always taught me to never, never, never give up. So we're going to make another run at it again. This time we have the use of a 60,000-pound truck. And so we're going to pull that for 100 feet and get the record done.
Wow. You know, I've been watching your journey, and you inspire not only me, but there are so many people out there you're inspiring, and I'm so proud of you. You know, I saw you posted something the other day, this quote. It said, she was unstoppable, not because she did not have failures or doubts, but because she continued on despite them. Tell us a little bit about your why, and how do you keep your inner hope shining? Why do you keep going?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I know that each of us has a story, and every single one of us will have people that we will impact because of that story. My story might not resonate with somebody else. Someone else's story might resonate with them. But all I try to keep telling myself is, number one, I never want to get back to where I was. I was so unhealthy. I was so mentally, physically, emotionally sick, and I really was at the end of my rope. I really felt like the challenge was my last hope. I felt like I had tried everything, and I really felt like I wanted to get off the merry-go-round. I had lost and gained so many pounds over and over, up and down and up and down. And thank God for the challenge, because the community of people that we meet, people that really help you to keep going, and they inspire you. So that is a big part of my why, is that, you know, we have a community of people surrounding us that, you know, we run this race together. And so that's a big why for me. I've also opened a fitness studio, and I have a bunch of ladies that come, a lot of them starting in the position I was in when I started. So that's pretty motivating as well, to stay on your challenge and to stay focused, and to just keep trying to change your own story so that your story can help someone else.
Absolutely. Faith, again, congratulations. And on behalf of the TeamViHOPE and 100 Pound Club, we cannot wait to see this next poll, and we're so excited to see what your future has.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to switch gears. I'm just going to throw this call on over to my wonderful 100 Pound Club boss sister, Karim. Are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome.
Hey,
I know you have a lot to know about keeping the hope alive, so I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Theresa. My name is Karim, and I am out of Tampa, Florida, and I have been on the challenge for a little over 2.5 years. A little over, probably about 3 years ago, I lost all my hope. I had a failed marriage, single mom. You know, I was always sick, and I just really didn't know where else to turn. And one day, my friend had told me about this challenge, and I was like, you know, I think I can do it on my own. Long story short, I couldn't do it without the support that Vi would have given me. So I took a leap of faith, and I joined the challenge, and here we are 2.5 years later, and I am down 108 pounds, and I am loving every minute. I have my ups, I have my downs, and you know, that's all I can say for right now. It's not about me. It's about this next person that I am about to introduce, and he's an amazing story. And Solomon, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, you are loud and clear. Go ahead, Solomon. Tell us a little bit about your story and about your experience with the challenge.
Hey, guys. I have been on the challenge for 1 year, 10 months, and 10 days. I started grad school in 2010, and I was about 205 pounds lean, and when I graduated in 2012, I gained over 100 pounds, definitely not lean. On graduation day, my dad took a picture of me, and I didn't like what I saw. It wasn't until that picture and the proofs from my cap and gown graduation pictures that I realized that for 2 years I didn't like what I saw or what I felt. I felt shame. And so how could I allow myself to get to 300 pounds? All the while I was hiding behind the 185-pound lie that was on my driver's license and hiding under layers of compression garments that I could still fit into my 48 waist pants and my XXL shirts. Fast forward 8 months later, I had a friend who gave me samples of the shake mix, and in a week I lost 5 pounds. Called up my sister, told her, hey, we need to do this. In 90 days, she lost 30 pounds. I lost 50 pounds. And to this day, I have lost a total of 110 pounds.
Wow, that is awesome. You know, Solomon, a big thing that I love about your story is how you just came literally out of nowhere with your 100-pound weight loss. It kind of shocked us all because we as a 100-pound club are a really close group, and here comes this guy out of nowhere, and he's like, yeah, I lost 100 pounds on a Vi, and we're like, what? So how did you manage to do that without being 100% active in the Vi community? I mean, really, how did you keep yourself going? Where did you find your motivation?
I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but honestly, when I started, I didn't know there was a community. I just had a transformation kit on AutoShip, but I definitely didn't do this alone. Like I said, my sister, Lynn, has been my accountability partner the entire time. When I stopped, she kept going and brought me back on track. We sent each other pictures of our progress, and I went into a silent competition with her. Working out became fun, and it became part of my life. And, you know, who would have thought that 2 overweight kids from Savannah, Georgia would now be in the best shape of their life? You know, when you ask about my why, the therapist in me really wants to say something altruistic about teaching people how to love themselves and be able to walk, and for me to be able to walk the talk. But honestly, my why is all about a new me. Every 90 days I get to redefine who I am. I've been the guy who lost 110 pounds. My last 90-day challenge, I ran a 10K with Project 10 Kids. In my next 90 days, I will go rock climbing. Every 90 days, I have a responsibility for creating a new adventure for myself, and that's what's exciting. So my why is just redefining who I am.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So basically, what you're saying is that you weren't alone, even though you weren't active in the community. Your sister was your accountability partner, and it is important to have accountability partners while you are taking on such a challenge. And, of course, me being the therapist that I am, just like you, we need to learn how to walk the talk. So I love the idea of you saying that you got to redefine yourself every 90 days. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the call over to Theresa again.
Awesome. Thank you. Y'all's stories both are touching, and can't wait to learn more about both of your stories. But Karim, thank you so much for sharing to begin with. So I wanted to be able to introduce our next guest. Her story is very close to my heart, and I feel that it needs to be shared with the world. And I hope she is there. Kimberly, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on the call tonight. I'm going to give the floor to you. I want you to go ahead and just share a little bit about your story, okay?
Okay. Well, I used to be a personal fitness instructor and a cheerleading coach for many years, and I did a fitness study for the University of Kentucky, and one night I got hurt. I don't know if it was on a machine or what. So the next morning when I woke up, I couldn't walk, and I couldn't walk for months. I mean, I was literally in the bed with a back brace and stuff, and I gained some weight, and it literally freaked me out as being, you know, a fitness instructor and stuff. And then because when I was young, you know, I was a dancer, and I had modeled and stuff and different things, and so, you know, I just really did something to me, you know, mentally, gaining that weight. So I had a friend that told me about a weight loss clinic, and that she would take me to it, that it was, in a bigger city. I'm from a small city and everything, so we went and everything, and I went to this clinic, and they told me about this drug that, that I could do, and that, that I would be able to lose a lot of weight really fast. And they said, they told me about how Dr. Oz had talked about it and all this stuff, and, and I was just all over it, and everything, Dr. Oz especially, and I had never heard of it before in my life, and so I went ahead and did it because it was prescribed, and I thought, that it was safe and everything, and it was HCG shots is what it was, and so I started taking them every morning, and I dropped a drastic amount of weight in about 4.5 to 5 weeks. I lost 41 pounds, but I was only eating 500 to 600 calories a day. So anybody with enough sense would know eating 500 to 600 calories a day, you're going to probably lose that anyways, and muscle tone. And so anyways, after I lost that, my clothes were all falling off of me, so I came off of them. 2 months later, I started having like a sledgehammer feeling going through my head. My face went completely numb. My arm went completely numb. It turned cold like wax. My jaws went numb. I knew something was seriously wrong because my father had already had a massive, stroke, and I had seen him have his. So I was taken immediately to the hospital, and I was sent in an ambulance because they were told me I was having strokes. And so I was screaming and crying in the ambulance all the way to Villate, begging to save my life because I didn't want to leave, my husband and my children, because I have 3 children and a husband. And anyways, I laid in a stroke unit for over a week. And they did a lot of studies on me and everything and stuff. And the reason I lived is they said that I had took and quit smoking 5 years before that, and that I had been very, very healthy for all the years that I had worked out all those years. So I did wind up living, but a month later, I had an extended stroke. One of my strokes extended itself. And then another month later, I had another stroke. So in the end, I wound up having 5 strokes. So they took and they started doing all kinds of studies to see what was going on with me. And they found out that it was the HCG that had caused everything and stuff. So they put me on like 29 medicines, and I gained over 130 pounds in less than 7 months. I wound up in a wheelchair to where I couldn't walk. My husband had to bathe me and tie my shoes, put my clothes on. I went from like a small and a medium to like a 3X. And I couldn't bend down, I couldn't kneel, I couldn't crawl, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. And, my children even made fun of me because, I was always that skinny, really prissy kind of girl, and they I don't know, they were teenagers, and stuff and everything. And so I told them, I said, one day, I'm going to get back to the person that I was. You'll see. Because I gained 45 pounds in just 1 month. And I went to the doctor one day, and he told me, after so long, he says, Kim, he said, you're getting ready to die. He said, your heart is overloaded, and he said, you are going to die. He said, you're going to have weight loss surgery or something. You're going to have to do something fast, or you're going to leave your children. So I was going to do weight loss surgery, and I went, and I found out about everything, and they told me about, you have to stay on liquids for all these weeks and everything. And I thought, you couldn't drink milk, you couldn't eat bread. And I thought, well, that's stupid. I thought, I can't do that. I can't stick to that. And then I remembered about that shake mix that I had sitting at home. And I thought, I'm going to go home and I'm going to do that shake mix. I can eat on that, I can drink that shake mix and I can still eat, And even though I couldn't exercise and I couldn't get off that couch and I couldn't walk and I couldn't do anything, I drank them shakes, and when they had that promo, I kind of messed around with it for a little bit on that shake bag. But when that promo came out in January, and I called in and I ordered that, and I've stepped to it like crazy, I've dropped 60 pounds since then. And I have went from a 3X, and I can wear an extra large now, and I've lost 60 pounds. And in the last 4 weeks, I have been walking without my cane. and everything. And, my why it was, I didn't want to die, and I always told everybody that, that I was going to be Kim again. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be Kim again one day. That's who I'm going to be. I'm going to walk. I'm going to drive my car again one day. I'm going to be able to go to the gym one day again, and I'm just going to be me again one day. I'm going to fight to get there no matter what it takes. And my motto is never say never. You can do anything. It's always achievable.
Kimberly, your story is so amazing. And, the fact that you have an end goal in sight and you are doing this without exercise, it's doable. If Kimberly can do it, anyone can, right?
Exactly. If I can do it, if I can sit on that couch and drink some shakes and not be able to cook, I can't even cook, people. My food consists of my husband going out and getting it from a restaurant and bringing it home to me and trying to pick the healthiest choice and lose 60 pounds since January, then you can do it too.
Kimberly, thank you so much for sharing your story. Cannot wait to see your future transformation, and I can't wait to see a picture of you behind driving your car and being that old Kimberly. So I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be on this call.
Thank you so much. We're gonna go back over to Karim. Are you there? Karim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
I thought you left me.
I would never leave you.
Okay, good to know. I wrote that down. So, Karim, you mentioned earlier that you've been battling some stuff lately too, and you and I have talked personally. I know that you've switched some things up with your challenge a little bit. You didn't really talk about this earlier, but, a lot of people know your story, and I want to know what made you say lupus is not going to win, and what gave you your inner hope?
Okay. Well, actually, I never actually shared the fact that I have lupus with anybody until this year. It took me a little while. I was kind of in denial, a little bit of shock, and trying to just keep myself going without actually having to talk about it. People closest to me knew, but I never really told anybody else that I had lupus until I did my 100-pound walk at RST, and I knew that if I spoke it into existence, it would be real, and I was ready for it. I was ready to take that on, and I never realized how many people I could impact and help at the same time helping myself and learning about my illness. And so lupus comes with a great deal of fatigue and pain, and it just drags you down, and it's really hard to continue on this journey a lot of times. But if it wasn't for people like you and this my community, I probably would have reverted back to my old ways again, and I would have gained back those 100 pounds, and probably a little bit more than that. I fall and I get back up, and usually when I fall, I don't get back up, and ever since I've joined the challenge, I've learned to just keep getting up, and it's going to be a lifelong battle, and I realize that it's just an illness, it's just a diagnosis, but it does not define me, and what should be my biggest weakness is actually I've been able to turn it into my greatest strength. And, recently I've learned that I have a gluten intolerance, which thankfully my doctor had said, nope, it's not the shakes. Keep doing what you're doing with the shakes. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because that's the only thing I can remember to actually do is 2 shakes a day. I got this. I have a loopy brain, but 2 shakes a day. So it's definitely been a journey, and it's going to be a struggle, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for what's to come, and without, people like Theresa and the rest of the 100-Pound Club give me pep talks every once in a while when I'm feeling down. I probably wouldn't be here right now speaking to you all.
Karim, you're an absolute rock star. Thank you so much for opening up and sharing a little bit about that with us. So I know that everyone's why is different, and everyone finds their inner hope in a different place and time. Imagine this. Sometimes it even changes throughout your journey, as Karim just mentioned. Sometimes you have to dig a little bit deeper, but that's okay. What's not okay is not knowing why you're doing something. So we all have the hope within ourselves to accomplish something, and you have to fight to keep the hope shining. Once you figure out what lights your hope inside of you, which 99.9% of the time is your why, don't ever let it out of your sight. Post it everywhere. Remind people. You have to keep fighting by reminding yourself often of where you're heading and why you're heading there. Maya Angelou said, "Nothing can dim the light which shines from within." That is my favorite quote of all time. Since day one of my journey, my team, my family have known my why. When I reached 70 pounds lost, I hit a wall. I hit a brick wall. Within 30 days, I was re-diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I went through an awful breakup. I lost my father to renal kidney failure and diabetes. I could have given up. My team, my Vi family, my friends, Vi family didn't even know me yet, but I still call them family. They were all there. They all knew my why and where I was heading. They reminded me when I needed it most. So, just to recap, if you do not know your why, or you don't have a why yet, here are my 4 tips. I'm going to go through them real quick. What makes you come alive? Take it from being about you to being something bigger than you. Tip number 2, what are your strengths? What have you always been good at? Number 3, where do you add the greatest value? Don't ever undervalue your strengths. And Karim, thanks for hitting on that earlier. And number 4, how will you measure your life? By shifting the lens to view what you're doing now, you can profoundly shift your experiences of life. Be powered by a clear purpose. You have to have that clear purpose. Knowing your why will compel you to take on challenges that will stretch you as much as they inspire you. I'm going to repeat that. Knowing your why will compel you to take on challenges that will stretch you as much as they inspire you. Whoever invited you to this call, reach out to them. Jump on the challenge. Share your why with them, and then share your why with the world. Share it with your Vi community. We want to help you start your own story. We are here to change lives. We cannot wait to see your before and afters and cheer you along on the journey. If you don't already like our page on Facebook, the # TeamViHOPE, please go there and add. We'll get you added real quick so you can have tons of support. This call has been recorded. I want to thank everyone so much for joining us tonight. This call is officially over.
You guys, that was amazing.